Hello everybody, it's Michael from ReplicaAirguns.com, and today I have a bit of an update video. We're going to actually look at 3 pistols and 1 airsoft rifle. I'll bring up the airsoft rifle near the end, but it is the ASG Scorpion EVO 3A1, and it is an AEG airsoft rifle. Just a little too big to get here on the table with the other guns. Alright, so what do we have here on the table? Well, we have the ASG X9 Classic Blowback CO2 BB pistol right here. This is a 4.5mm steel BB pistol. We also have our Colt Peacemaker here. This is the nickel and gold, and it's a CO2 pellet single action army revolver. And then we also have our Colt 1911 railgun. This one's in dark earth, and it's a blowback CO2 airsoft pistol. We'll get into the details pretty much right now. So let's start with the ASG X9 Classic here, and this is basically a KJWorks pistol. And I showed you this gun at SHOT Show. This year's SHOT Show, if I can get it to focus here. There we go. And it's basically a KJWorks gun. I'll show you in a second. I've got one that's almost identical in an airsoft version. There's a plane flying over. You might hear it in the background there. But this one shoots steel BB, so it's a 4.5mm steel BB version, right? Blowback operation, full, metal magazine. It's a little different than the airsoft in terms of that it's got the cutouts, but other than that, it's very, very similar. Okay, single and double action, working safety, everything works just like the original real steel, classic M92 or A92, M9. So many ways of naming it or calling it. Alright, so let me show you the airsoft version, okay? So if you, really, they are virtually identical. So much and so that if we take a look at the serial number, you can see here, KJ35569. KJ probably for KJWorks. And here is the airsoft version. Look at that, KJ35569. Okay, so we know in fact they are pretty much the same gun. And so much so that I could hot swap the mags a little bit here. Okay, you see it fits in there. They are slightly different, okay, with the cutout. Other than that, they're virtually identical. Really, the only other difference is the front sight on the airsoft version. Once it focuses, why so hard? Is a little bit stubbier. It sticks up a little higher, okay, as compared to the steel BB version. See how it's a little smaller, lower profile, okay. Still got the white dots front and back, but they're just a little bit more subdued than the airsoft version. Okay, so slightly different, but definitely both made by KJWorks. Now, didn't really go over the specs, so I will really quickly here for you guys. So we're looking at a full metal gun. It's 4.5mm steel BB. It's blowback action. It weighs about 2.1 pounds. It's 16 round, full-size dropout metal magazine. Holds the CO2 and the BBs, right? And it shoots about 312 FPS with those 5.1 grain steel BBs. At least that's what ASG claims. It's probably pretty close. Most of these full blowback guns aren't going to get much over 320, 330, even on a good day. And this is, again, single action and double action, like your standard Beretta, right? It does have half cock as well. So just want to show you around real quick before I move on. Really nice looking gun. KJWorks has excellent fit and finishing. Nice high quality guns. Now, some people have asked me, what about the Beretta through Umarex, and this is the Desert Storm version, right? Which is better quality? Well, I'm going to probably say KJWorks is a little bit better quality. This is, I believe, a KWC gun. Pretty sure it's a KWC gun. And they're good. They're good in general. They're a good quality gun. They've been around. They've been making these full blowback guns for a long time, and the quality control is pretty good. But they're not as up there as KJWorks in terms of fit, finish, all of that stuff. Finish is definitely better on KJWorks. Seems to stay on a bit better. With a gun like this, it doesn't really matter. But the only thing you're going to get here on this Umarex version is you're going to get semi and full auto. Don't really know how much you're going to be shooting in full auto with a pistol like this, but it is kind of cool to have that. Alright, let's move on here. Alright, let's move on to the Colt Peacemaker, the nickel and gold CO2 pellet revolver. Again, at SHOT Show, I was seeing more of these longer barreled single action revolver pistols, right? And or revolvers, whatever you want to call them. This one's just got a little more bling to it, right? You can see it's got the nice gold cylinder hammer, and trigger on the chrome finished frame and barrel, and it has the Colt licensing through Umarex. Okay, it is an Umarex pistol. Right, really nice. Okay, so comparatively, we have the Colt Duke here. I've reviewed this pistol. This is the John Wayne Colt Duke, and you can see here, shorter barrel, but other than that, both of these guns are pellet guns, pellet revolvers. Okay, I would expect the longer barrel is going to get a little bit more feet per second, right? With a little bit longer barrel, significantly longer. It's almost 7 inches. My Apple Watch is going crazy here. But other than the longer barrel and the finishing, the gold finishing, this gun is pretty much the same as the Colt Duke, other than licensing, I guess, too. But you know, nice gun. Let's take a quick look at it. I'll go over the specs in a second. Right, really nice, beautiful finishing. Trigger, right? Now, if you've seen a lot of the reviews, you know how these guys work, right? And you've got the actual shell loading shells here, right? Put your pellet in the back. Okay. Load it one at a time, right? Single action only, so you got to cock that hammer before you can fire, just like your real single action army pistol. Alright, let's talk about the specs real quick and we'll move on. Full metal other than the grips, as you can see here, .177 caliber pellets, gold highlight cylinder, hammer, and trigger again. The inner barrel is 6.75 inches because the barrel doesn't go right to the end, so it's about 6.75 inches. Again, it's a 6-shooter, so 6 rounds, and this gun will shoot up to 380 FPS according to Umarex. Again, it's single action only. Alright, last but not least, we have our Colt 1911 railgun. This is the Dark Earth, so it's a blowback CO2 pistol. Really interesting grips on it, almost like a snake texture. Really cool. Layered like a ply. Has the rail, right? So this is a KWC pistol. It is an airsoft pistol. I did remove the tip. It did take a little bit of work, I'm not going to lie. I had to, basically the tip snapped off, so just a little part was in there and I had to sort of pick it out with a knife. I just scraped it until it was really thin and then it just kind of came out. But it will take a little bit of work to get this off. These do come through the States, so that's why they have the orange tips here in Canada. These guns, by the way, are all available in our Canada store right now. At least while I'm making this video, they're in stock. Okay, so we have our nice Colt M45A1. We have our rail set up here. Okay, nice blowback action. Again, KWC, right? Just like the other KWC 1911s, like the Tanfoglio Witness. Very similar in terms of build, how it's made, everything. Probably a lot of the parts are mix and match, I would imagine. Right? I mean, just to give you an idea, here is a Tanfoglio Witness magazine, right? In steel BB. Should be a little bit of CO2 in it. Right? You notice it's not locking back. That's the only thing that the BB magazine doesn't seem to be locking back, but other than that, it is, like if I have this one, see how it locks back when it's empty? So maybe there's a little change in the mag, I'm not really sure. But other than that, you have your silver barrel. Right. Really nice. Okay, so I want to kind of show you, you know, how similar it is to the BB versions. This is the, I can't remember exactly, this is the KWC, what is it now? It's the M1911, so that's the model for this one. It's KWC unbranded. And you'll notice it's very, very similar, right? Other than no writing, but even the rail setup is almost identical. You know, same, basically the same hammer, safety, everything. The trigger's a little different, but very, very similar. Even the sights are almost identical, right? So this is a steel BB pistol. It's a KWC M1911. All right, let's take a quick look. I'm going to right in here close, just to give you some more. Okay. Nice white dot sight on the front. There we go. Take that sticker off, of course, as quick as possible. It's got this weird thing on it there, some sort of a UPC type code. Sort of threaded, at least for those little for the orange tip to go in there. Alright, talk a little bit about it. Another full metal gun, weighs in at about 2.1 pounds. Again, it comes with that red tip, but it can be removed with a little bit of work. Again, it has full blowback operation, 17 round full-size dropout metal magazine that holds the Airsoft BBs, of course, and the CO2. This gun should shoot up to around 360 FPS, and it is single action only like most 1911s you would find. You can also get this in a bunch of different colors, including the dark earth we see here. You've also got a two-tone, which has a stainless slide. You can also get it in an all-black finish that would be very similar to this KWC one here. And currently we don't have any stock, but you can get it in a stainless version with a simulated wood grip. Alright, last but not least, let's take a look at this EVO I've been telling you about. It does come with the orange tip. I'm just going to kind of quickly go through this gun. I don't have proper batteries for it, so I can't even really show you it firing. But the EVO is basically a metal and plastic gun, okay? Pretty sweet. Alright, so you got your slide, or your bolt, and then your bolt release. Your sights, you can put all kinds of stuff on there if you want, right? You've got safe, single shot, 3-shot burst, and full auto, right? I believe a 75 round magazine in it. What's interesting about the EVO is it has some fairly complicated or, you know, high-tech electronics going on. It will actually detect when the gun is out of, when your magazine is out of BBs and stop shooting. So you're not going to be dry firing and just firing at nothing or firing nothing. It'll actually stop, and it will require you to charge the gun, right? So do a full-on charge before you're allowed to shoot again once you've reloaded, okay? So that's pretty cool that you have to do that. Got your fold-out stock. Okay, really nice gun. Let's go over some of the specs real quick here. Again, it's metal and plastic. It does come with that red tip, but you could remove the red tip pretty easy. You actually have to remove it to get off the front cover to get at the batteries. Again, it's a 6mm plastic Airsoft rifle. It is an AEG, and it shoots again in single 3-round burst and full auto. It weighs in at about 5.3 pounds. Again, it has that 75 round magazine and will shoot up to about 394 FPS. And it's designed and built by ASG to give the Airsoft player an experience that's as similar to handling a real EVO as possible. So much so that it has the same weight. It's built as tough as the real EVO, like all the materials are very similar, if not the same. And it again has those custom electronics that detect when the magazine is empty and stops the firing. Alright, I do plan to do full reviews for all of these guns, and at some point when the weather gets a little better, I will be doing shooting videos for you guys as well. Some field test shooting videos. So stay tuned for those. I know I mentioned it already, but these guns, all the guns I've shown you today, are available in the Canada Replica Airgun store, at least at the time that I've made this video, so check out the links in the description if you're interested in purchasing any of these guns. Alright, thanks for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. Come on down to replicaAirguns.com where I have articles, post reviews, usually additional photos of these guns, some nice high-res photos you can check out as well. And again, we have our Canada and US online Replica Airgun stores where we sell air guns, airsoft guns, BB guns, pellet guns, blank guns, knives, and other accessories. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.